Peace and love.
Good morning, Sawaba Swaya na washe amayen. Good morning to you all. Happy Saturday. And then yaba bisua dear many Dr. Suga ebium yaba bisua dear nti Sawaba Swaya na washe amayen wate. O constitution no wasem na ye na yaba beka. Yen country no here education. Ghana ye here education. Ghana needs education. Enti ena me ne Dr. Soga ye ba bebobo niama ho ya kyerɛkyerɛ baabi a wo ɛsɛsɛ woda ne ɛwɔ as a Ghanaian ne ɛwɔ wo sɛ woyɛ Ghanani na wo Ghana asase no so no enti ena wa bɛka ye ho a mesrɛ wo share video no ma yen na enkɔ akyire na enso wunua bi nso a ene wo hwɛ Ghana obia wo telephone you know Ghana for constitution no ho na ye ka ho asɛm Maami Teresa Nyankopɔn hyirawo ye ba bɛka constitution no ho asɛm ye ba besua ade through the lens of our democratic system, through that length, not through the length of monarchy tete no na obia ewo na hemfo monarchy na obia wo na hemfo a na odi asem ewo kromu ho na emuna na yehu se esisie ewo asase no so na the whole world even ohoho ba yenkromu anasa wokọ ohoho kromu a ne omo pe no mo de yewo na sade wiase nyina be kasa abomu no na yede democracy, which is the part of it, the provisions are human rights. And na yaba beka eno ho asem te de be ya onua obehu wo nso ekro na wote so no asase na wote so no ne esese ewo wo ene nia wo hu ekwan nti se wa beka ye ho a mesre share the video no wo so na enko obia ho. Mini Dr. Soga na ya ba beka ka ensem bi wa ha ye hia won so wa da agye ene wa dwenkyere nti ye nese wa baso a mesrew eya na wa share video no ama ye na akwa akyire na yetimi esua ade no abom enye sa Ghana ebimu ebesisi yen no mbekọ nso asisi se wonim o right obi betimi aba ofie abefa unjapade bebre nti ene bra beka ye ho na yensu ade wate constitution no asem ye ba beka constitution no asem ene wo de bra beka ye ho ye ba bebobo Mr. Soga de yen beka constitution no ye hia enkrofo nso ewo Ghana omo betimi the constitution no on foot ye hia foot soldiers inti fix the country for fix the country ye hia those who can read, those who can write omo betimi a kire said ye maamefo omo wo Eastern region Kumase ene omo every nyina aho ene Ghana for aho Ghana for nyina are disappointed maamefo omo gina mu ma MPP maamefo omo gina mu ma NDC se ne be ya ubehu wasede na wakenkan akire omo na enye se obi begina wo hye suit anaso hye coat anaso brel kroport na che se afimu ni nyina no wo kwan abo ye brel sika afimu ni nyina sabi hospital wo yare a eno ena ene ye suhu ewo Ghana me pese me kan asem bi na meba so biom ye mpapa bi a na o acte titi ena yesi on na monkrofo so esesika. You see, Ghana government has failed us bitterly. You know, obi oyade cry, we don't even recognize some form of a sickness. Many nursing form was say, wow, we are nurse. Now, Baba coming when they are chere. At that age, you know, what to expect from them. What else do you expect from Titi or say Sika? What else do you expect? Ghana, the government has failed us bitterly. Ekromu ha anka papa we enka omo enya nurse niyama na diabetic nurse bi obi ase eye even kura Alzheimer's na asset in krampo a yenim Ghana yenim. There are so many. There was a man na oyare ewo krom ha na yede ne call hospital amekwa akosra no papa ne nim nia who I am. Titi kura nyini sense papa no insu na papa no o ka kire me so obi abodam insu na adwene otimu sanema okeka no na enso so ni sika kurampo ekodi maame foforo ho na wa maame ne kwan maame no ne ope na ode ye ni nyina na doctors fo no na omunim ne ha no Ghana ye nim ne ha ye merewafo ene ye ma emebunu ni nyina we don't know inti ene titi sika we don't know, but I'll come back with a nurse or a doctor for that matter to explain at that age, you know what it is going through. You need clinical psychologist. Omo wo ekuro so omo bua at that age, you know, near man, near ha papa no kura Ghana fo nimti obi edi ono ne daachi ne shira kese papa no so mo nim so mo sesa kese sama himself. We are insulting this guy without knowing what is wrong with it you. And I mean no ba besua yen cons ni nyina e constitution no at that age, you know. The right of a person to proper health care. Ewa constitution munsu ni mana. Onua brabeka me ho na share video no na obi anso nsanka bi. Me de Dr. Soga ebewura studio ho na me ne na atwetwe nkomo na wonso wasua kakra free mu. Na Saturday Monday constitution no eno na yenso ye de adwuma wa ha. Adwumayefo a omo ye adwuma ema school mu ewa aye aban no say sanka aban na nkrosu school a omo ma ato today kura ne bebre kura mpo ma adwuma omo constitutional right ebi ni say omo se panie no kura no omo wo ebi no obi nso say aban na nto we air purifier anko sisi school mu ho wo Canada ha omma adwuma no maamefo akasemu a constitutional rights ni bi no onua se waba so ya na wahye ye ba be kirekirew nkakra ye besua no from article to article and then Mr. Soga be fa one article ye be ko just for 30 minutes pe ye be san ba back na ye de land asase eno ne nia ha Ghana for say matters on the rise eye empenfo ahemfofo omofo se Ghana asase ye omode a ebi ni otumfo ye ba be ka ne constitution no pa akire otumfo ewo nsase so tumi ana ye behwe nia Ghana mo sign ye constitution no said ye betimi ne ye ho atena asase ne so a ye yiyi sikan eno ho asem ne ye ba beka. Dr. Soga akwa ababiom e de ba fa ho die show yi so
yeah him I want to say
Nyankopon na dom
Danyame ase
ena ye ka constitution asem na ena no me refi se me ka kire na why young man me refi ye me ka say na me one of those people say ozepo kura wo fam kura nhwa ma adwene si ade foforo nso kura nso na wo mitim ena me yaka na me ka kire say na you looked very very nice with your haircut. It looked very nice on you.
Thank you. Womu kakra makwa ko yimti kakra.
I know I look young kakra. What you break kakra?
Yes.
Now, and oh dear. Okay, now just continue.
Koso.
And now you say about the constitution asem niama Ghana ayera yen wo Ghana yentimi aye entokwa. Se yemfa ekura onimu mmara no anase baabi a mmara ni no sakasaka ye wo ho yen constitution no ye wo constitution so ene wo hwe yen parliament a entokwa na esi parliament ho men are not able to use words to communicate anymore. They are using facts. What do you think ade pa na wo constitution no mu a ofo say ene yebetimi abobo hu na etiefo nso asua bibi afri mu.
Oh. I'm say Ghana no. Yeah, can constitution, but I'm saying go bebre na no entiasie. Yeah, can constitution. I say on my on my Ghana. Enye obi ajapade. Amanfo a ye nyina ya yete asase so anase yawo wasase no so no. Ye nyina ya japade. Na constitution no eno na ye fa so edibu oman na obia nso benya ahoto na obuo ani nimde ani kwankyerɛ ehiama onipa dasani bia otimi de bɔ ne bra na ahotoba na bra bom. Saa de na constitution no kyerɛ yɛn ho kwan. Na nti nam si atwerɛ ne brɔfo mu nti no Mary Fen wɔ brɔfo mu kakra na o say every citizen of the nation has protection of fundamental human rights and freedoms. And no, part 1. Part 1, Article 12 of the Constitution. It speaks about the protection and fundamental human rights for all citizens of Ghana. Now, the next article, was say, the fundamental human rights and freedoms enshrined in this chapter shall be respected and upheld by the executive, legislature, and judiciary branches of government and all other organs of government and its agencies, and where applicable to them, by all natural and legal persons in Ghana, and shall be enforceable by the courts as provided for in this constitution.
Okay.
I say it shall be upheld by the executive, the legislature, and judiciary. And it said, it should be upheld by the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and by all government agencies and persons in authority.
Okay.
Already, with what is going on in Ghana, the constitution is not being upheld.
Okay. Mami Misa Asemba. When you talk about constitution, Mr. Ohene eka aban or ahemfofo omo Ghana, are they part of the government bodies,
Yes, because ahemfo they are considered legal persons. They are considered, the term used for ahemfo are given as legal persons because they have certain legal jurisdiction in the country. So they are considered legal persons. Eti ahemfofo nyina obia okuta tumi bia ewo even head teacher kura no, they are all by the constitution obliged to uphold every human right in the country. Every right of every citizen, they have to uphold it. Eti ahemfo considered as legal persons have the obligation to uphold the fundamental rights of every citizen of Ghana.
Okay. Eti ahemfo etimi acte as a president.
Because ahemfo they are not part of the executive.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
The reason why they call it the executive is the person nominated by the people of Ghana through elections, is the person chosen to execute the constitution.
Okay, Nti Osha, the people who were elected are the executives of the constitution. Okay.
Yeah. No. Okay. Nti let me give a clear difference. When you talk about the executive, in terms of the Constitution, the executive is like the CEO of the country, which in this case is the president and the vice president and the cabinet ministers.
Okay.
These constitute the executive body of governance.
Okay.
And then there is the legislative body of governance, which is the parliament. The parliament. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. The members of parliament. They constitute the legislative body of governance. Mm-hmm. They make laws and enact the laws. And the good thing is that they make the laws, enact the laws, and the president, the executive body, have to follow the law.
Okay. So the ministers, no more Ghana na, the appointers, those who were appointed as ministers, whom the president appointed.
Yeah, as cabinet ministers.
The cabinet ministers are supposed to make the law and enact it.
They don't make the law.
Okay.
The legislature, the House of Parliament. Yeah.
Okay.
The House of Parliament, that's the legislature. The House of Parliament makes the laws and enacts them. And the executive body, the president, vice president, and the cabinet ministers, they are obliged to promulgate the law that is enacted by the House of Parliament.
Okay. So, for example, e-levy, let's take a case and study it. E-levy is one of the laws they want to enact.
That's right. And that's why they bring it to Parliament, so that Parliament can enact that into law.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Because Parliament is the only organ of governance that can make and enact laws for execution.
Okay. Where do the people comes in with these laws? For example, let me just explain this. For example, when before the law is even brought to the cabinet, you hear a hint. For example, like the sex ed, the curriculum which we are now following, the sex ed education. It was spoken about. They did a whole bunch of deliberation. In Parliament. The only thing is the people did not really say much. Boom. You say Catherine Wing. Anyway, ako amaya voting. When you talk about e-levy, where do the people come in with this e-levy when it comes to the Constitution?
Okay. So in terms of this e-levy issue, the House of Parliament, unfortunately, the Ghanaian, let me say this, the Ghanaian organs of governance, they don't respect the people who elect them to form the governing body. And, they don't even consider the opinions of the people, because for them, once you've voted me, once you've elected me to come to, I do whatever I want, and it has nothing to do with you anymore. That is the mindset of Ghanaian members of parliament right now.
Okay. Okay.
So they come to buy your voting power, because it is your voting power that gives them that authority to turn around and oppress you and tell you to heck with you. You don't mean anything. We here, we do whatever we want. And it is when the president, who has his own people in the House of Parliament, whatever he wants, he just have to put it through Parliament as a formality. But he's already, with his cronies in Parliament, they have already agreed on what it is they want to do, whether the Ghanaian people like it or not. And to e-levy abeya, using the governing powers to steal from the people. It's robbery. Because say me will misika na se me se me chawa there. I opened my wallet and I said, here's $20. The government has no right to tax the money that I'm giving to my family. because it is not a service provided
That's
by
right.
any business or by the government or by state.
Okay.
It is a gift that I'm giving to members of my family, which is my fundamental human right to
That's
give.
right.
So for the
Okay.
government to come and tax that is robbery. It's fraud.
Okay. Okay. So, in terms of constitution, and this
Yeah.
fall under the human rights, or where does
Yes,
this fall?
human rights violations. Exactly.
Violation? Okay.
Yes.
Yen
It's a
sister
violation
Teresa,
of fundamental human rights.
Yen
Go
sister
ahead.
Teresa said, because the voters don't hold them accountable.
That
Is
is
it
it.
because the voters don't hold them accountable, or they have bought their voting right? And
Yeah.
then me say, yes, say soldier form paying for no nenti a soldier for a week. Ewo omo and go into our constitution and making sure so no ani mu no te hono. These are his responsibilities or her
Right.
responsibilities in Intino. The soldiers are taking and giving up their voting or their actions right.
Their constitutional rights. Right.
Their constitutional right to the
An
politicians.
obligation.
Exactly. It's almost a bribe. Yes, sister,
Yeah.
Millicent Akwaba, good morning to you.
Mm.
So, Sister Teresa, the people who are in charge of saying something, problem. These people, according to the Constitution, has given up their power to the. What is your constitutional right? Doc Fayenrem, what is our constitutional right when it comes to a voter?
Okay. All right. So, constitutional rights, the protection of constitutional rights. I say, no person shall be deprived. Listen, no person shall be deprived of his life intentionally except in the exercise of the execution of a sentence or of a court in respect of a criminal offense under the laws of Ghana, of which he has been convicted. A person shall not be held to have deprived another person of his life in contravention of the first clause, that is, except if they are arrested for breaking the law. If that person dies as a result of a lawful act of war, or of that other person dies as a result of the use of force to such an extent as is reasonably justifiable in the particular circumstances. And this one, they're just talking about imprisonment. But apart from the fact that somebody has done something wrong against the law and has been arrested, or in the course of such an arrest, or in the course of war, or in the course of a legitimate state apprehension, and the danger occurs to that person, then that person will not be held. That will not be considered, violation of fundamental rights. But apart from all this,
Papa muma na yen kan wo twi mu na because ne wo kan ye eno na because ye kasa because ne wo kan ye abrochime mu abrofo no eyusu ye it's the same constitution no
it's the same
the same thing because ansa na ye betimi a remove na je the charge to so half what the omu di samra no so pa obroni pese o be fa property anase or brew to me asia na o ma sheda the force eno na yehu no but Ghana no we wo ho what are the constitutional rights o de papa mu wo twi mu na yente asia because say
enti say an constitutional right ni say nipa bia no wo fa hudi a wo de ebo wo bra in oban no enni ho kwan say obesi wo kwan ama wa ba wo bra said the fata I just say bia why bibia wa fom mra aban no de mra acho na no no de na just asotwin bia e wo ho no na ese wo but eno akire no wanye bibia aban enni ho kwan say obesi wo kwan wo bibia wo pese wo ya emfom mra in other words.
Okay, mami misa asem mpese ye papa mo mi bisa questions no yen krofo bi a omo bi company a omo wo Ghana yesi buadimu oma kwaje omo landway. The acquisition will come into on the next segment, you know. Omo ewo the right papers na saa asem way it repeat itself. But Ghana for yen paying for no me say omo nsua de because incidents happen instead of the incidents teaching us ekromwa ade bi ebe happen triple or depriving someone or it goes contrary to the constitution, you know. They go back to the constitution, a group of people will wake up, they will get up and then they will rally. Omo a demonstration say there be se mrana nte sadia onipa ashre ne nkwana emrano was not made for onipa was not made for the law. The law was
made for
inti sa asem si a esese nka ban a odwene oye nipa dasani de anko so okọ back to emrano constitution no na okọ revising niama na make an amend. This thing has been repeated itself. Should these people be ordered by the king? Is there anything in the constitution that orders a king? Our NASA gives the king the right, another king, the right to go to a property and say, "Wa me hu me ntino." Or hene ketwa na oma wasase no. Me ye payin nesno no mesrew.
Dabi emra emma ho kwan sa. If say apart from the constitution no, Ghana san wo emra bi a friend no, the Land Act, the Ghana Land Act of nanu ye ade on ye. Na Ghana Land Act no eno no e kire se asase bi wo ho a eye aban asase. Asase bi nso wo ho a eye omfa no stool land. Yeah, eno no ahemfo no ene ehwe sa asase no. Asase bi nso wo ho a eye clan or tribal land. Yeah, eno no if say one more before and I say nkranfo asase and I say, you know, different
territorial way your friend territorial.
And then I feel so you know, family land. And you know, they categorize all these things. So there are family lands that the tribal chief has no authority to encroach over it. And then there are tribal lands that a paramount chief has no right to encroach over it. So the only land that a chief or a king like Asante Hene can stand and say, hey, I am in charge of this land. It's a particular stool land that has been allocated for the purpose of the stool. That's it. Enti si ekase asase ayeton wa Asante Hene kura de enka woni ho kwan se obeya asase ayeton ho adwuma. Because ahemfo na wo mo deda nkruwa na no a wo mo no ene wo sa tumi no for land. Enti but asase bia ewo me fansa Asante Mamu a omaton no enam se otumfo no ana Asante Hene no wono ne Asante Maniti enti no he gets what we call land royalty. So land royalty in terms of administration. What you say? And you know, that is the only right that the Asante Hene has over any other land that is not a particular stool land. Just asase ohene Asante Hene asase. And no ya tusu din say we Asante Hene asase.
Okay. Me pa how can one or say human rights does not work? Nana Akwaba, good job, my papa. When it comes to human rights, which Ghana is lost totally. Ghana, we don't exercise. There are no human. We don't consider ourselves human because humans are right naked. Humans have right naked. Yebusika. Ghana for ebusika. Ghana for mbunipa.
Emunipa.
Yepesika. Into obi wa Kennedy sisi ya achie yenye no nti no pe Kennedy asem. Na no ya abu egum he enye no nti no pe Kennedy asem. Or Kennedy asem because of Nia Kennedy possesses. And no nti na human rights law, universal law, na no ameye me dwuma me wo mu ikurampo dwuma mu mpo na esesenka even airport hofo workers nyina they have workshops once in a while omuko na yekokyere omu about nipa dasani ho ade even krampo yaye courses akodu anaphylactic way and way asbestos everything about safety me pa how do we where in the constitution it clearly outline human rights and what are the provisions of human rights a DNA human right sika na say DNA human right na yemfa enkyerechire mu
yo okay, so there are here in the constitution until last near make say constitution krano enya papa no kranya mianim Ghana constitution no woman true ni here because the language that we use no is so confusing in some places. Fundamentally no what I say because he talks about fundamental human rights and then he comes to respect for human dignity. And to respect for human dignity no and now can. But Ghana we don't have respect for human dignity at all. Okay. Now, what's human dignity? Was it the dignity of all persons? Okay. The 20. Okay, there we go.
It's for human rights in one sem and a doctor. So go into the language of our own constitution. Papa Joseph Akwaba.
Okay. And the respect for human dignity was say the dignity of all persons shall be inviolable. That is, there is nothing anyone, not the government, not agencies can do to violate any human person's dignity. That's a nipedria biano ni hu hia ni hu onfaso enti obia enni ho kwan enye president enye ohene enye police ni enni ho kwan se wo be ye bibia ebetia say nipedria bia esuban so unless say wa form emra. That's it. That's the basic fundamental human right and respect for human dignity.
Okay, and human dignity no business and hospital say nipa benya adequate way for hospital and I say maame na ote shark ni mu ho no say emamu abetu egu ni so na yakọ rape ne ba na no ye 13-year-old bi a area mu boys no omo maame ewu entafo mienu omo maame anya ne ba bi kwa busiafo a na nkolai no nko a na ehye ho 13 na 10 na ye rape girls yi saa mesrew. Where does the human dignity comes into this?
This one is a clear violation of human dignity, but said I can Ghana no constitution and yejuma.
Okay.
The constitution woman find yejuma. Ain't no obi amfa ho. Well, my example be even a pastors and prophets are they're constantly violating human rights and human dignity. But obia encounter because Osha obi say yesi hwan odi den obi nim na opemfo a wonyim ya o say onyim na opese obewo ne ba na asembia emba ho na wama oba na abeda ho na wodi wonan etietia ne yefu so say o protect nyinsen no. This is common sense. A culture say this is abuse.
Yes,
this is an abuse of this pregnant woman. Now, so well, that's her religious belief. No, that's stupidity. And this pastor should be arrested for that kind of violation.
Okay, mami misa wasembi. Ghana fo ankasa ena ehanomu a anka ne omu beye nie. That woman has given up her right to speak because it is clearly said that is where the government comes in. The government in this part of the world has taken ownership of a person's inability to speak, where you are not in the right frame of mind to make decision. when it comes to life, that is when it comes, even when you want to take your own life, you are charged. As a be who commit suicide or war a woman no that one no crampo ya charging no.
It's punishable by law. Yeah.
It is punishable by law. So when you commit suicide, that into this woman no a chromo ha anka abai ka police if what do a sorry them what that because this obviously doesn't know what is right for her. Now, Mami Mr. Wasem, is this where we are confused between religion and also constitution? What comes first? Mr. Papa, Cheche, because Ghana for I are confused. The constitution should have protected this woman, and the people who are charged to enact and to make sure, say, is that our judicial system, our the 4 pillars of the houses. No, Doctor or say no proper planning, Papa. Planning won't tear the national. I'll be there planning. Ade bi a won ti ase wo ye den Ghana wo be hu obi dan mu kitchen ni amagu ho na ni ayode pra ye da bedroom ho pra inti wo ba ha na won ti living the way a untna e fear eye complete mu da wo be den hu ba bi a ye de pra ye to ne ba bi a toilet si ni junso kruwa esi yen bedroom inti onim nanado anase yen government personnel show bit say we want to me we general want to me or say ni no mean to me want to me. You see,
chairman want to me.
Chairman want to me is an area champion, and now it is the see the more thief, the more crook you are. Na Ghana for the year Juma. Check constitution. Na what you say. Where should the law step in without the woman speaking? Mr. Ochechemi ko meti hano meti asia to a call. Ghana ni mti asia say.
Baby.
Onipan kwan first. Onipan kwan first. So who is responsible for onipan kwan wo Ghana sesia based on our constitution?
Entina Ghana aban no ahihye say obi a wo oman mu no uyiyeye ehia oman no entinam say obi a wo Ghana man wo ye Ghana ba ya uyiyeye ehia aban tin say aban efa kwan bia so eba ho ban.
Okay.
Enti say me fan say bia na yare ana say stress ana frustration how na say who say obi wo kra bibi hana onwenyi when people are afraid or in a situation of confinement they lack the ability to think properly.
Yes.
And into no aban ayen hihye say yehu situation bia sa ema ohu be kiriwa no say aban ejina ho na obon ho ban.
Ghana aban ana
Ghana ban. Now so because constitution no sa na kire because the human respect for human dignity no is under that. Or say the government shall do everything possible to protect the fundamental rights and dignity of every citizen.
Hey, we young constitution.
It's in our constitution.
Okay, mama me explain chiremo etiefo. The government has to do everything in their power to ensure your human rights and your dignity. Mr. Ekromu ha ebinie. We asichire ne say papa bi a mede ne call ye frɛ ambulance man no te say titi ɛha abɔde nhwehwɛmu ɛkyerɛ scientifically biologically wodu saa age na confusion setting why perplexed why depressed hwɛ baabi a na papa yi egina ɛkra no some people Alzheimer's kicks in very early on. Iti papa ya enkrofo do omano asu ni sui ekrom ha no wa anka woni baabi oda anka omamma no baabi a omo adin mu no as unable to care for himself. Inti yama no baabi oda na ya fanes ni fefefe ya fa ne obene aduane na anase so wabusiafo a ebusiafo no will seek that support. Yebema no we occupational therapy. Yebema no we papa listen, de me call we just to know how to give him insulin. Aban no efa ne ho kanyina and other baby enye baby ensuo nyunu. So this is the fundamental right doctor is trying to say. And no picture. Many serious stories I can tell you the fundamental right of a human being, which is the responsibility of our leaders, our government bodies. It is not the responsibility of NGOs. Someone nam ho eno ne yadoye eno no ye freno eno ne yadoye Ghana for think say neighbors oh as I say yegigi sika ekwan wo kwan ne nye into ukofo bibi begumu ana ye den because ni we fini ho eno de kasa Dr. Mesrel Koso asem we me this acheche ye Mesrel
me person me ma a reference. This is in the Constitution, chapter 5. Chapter 5, Article 12. Into chapter 5, talks about the fundamental human rights and freedoms. Into online, so we to me Google na watch a Ghana Gov. What download a here passer will be at me kind constitution. It will do a while. The language is a little bit confusing, but to me share a babwa would make in kind at least or much run a brofumu dear, but in Tiaseka crowd a womb, with me at Tiasia.
Okay.
It is that under a median the Hamicranis I was say Article 12 clause 1 was say the fundamental human rights and freedoms enshrined in this Constitution shall be respected and upheld by the executive, legislative, and judiciary, and all other organs of government and its agencies, and where applicable to them, by all natural and legal persons in Ghana, and shall be endorsable by the courts as provided in this Constitution. And I banya said yes, Obo unipedia or ye Ghana ni bia ho ban ewo kwen bia so.
Okay, Mr. And Ohomame. That means to say how a kumsi or your fishery ministry said there is it how a kumsi or say we use the word me punish you. That means to say sanko no say no sanko na juma sanka ye campaign na ye sign exactly. And I know health minister be wrong information be about numbers be keke wa here na juma e wa ha because they fix the country say fix the country groups Canada made sure afen so there was another incident be a ACC Ghana we kire say abino the people in government are responsible for the well-being and the dignity and safety. Mr. Doctor, yedi besi ya yedi baba tuaso yebaba ena ye dwen say ye sister Teresa ye be san back ye pese ye twitwa no kupi il faut être petit pot aha sa ne be ye nipa besua bibia fim say we ni ye too long our kumsi the we constitution ne kire say sanka ye olusu ni we afen so
and can see Kennedy very straight because and UK kakrabi UK and the prime minister or UK krano and the UK force as well resign identity because ono o ma hihye mra say covid abantimo obi MP no ne juma yefo no omo apia omo public gathering omo party and the see when UK force he has to resign.
Yes.
So, now Ghana no ye mumra.
Yeah. Omo resigning ye mara na yesi ma mo ntu kwan no ebi tu kwan enipa 5 o se den resigning ye ba ko bi nso je gift ba ko oba ba ko oje gift traveling gift ono so walu su ne adwuma obema se akọ se aboa ben ena ye so ye the CEO of IHOC ebe jina ho say o ma ne gift di obeje Ghana mesra constitution na yakan no yebesen ababiom menuanom a mo hwe ye moma yemfa Ghana wo Ghana mesrew make it your constitution, your responsibility, make it your right to study the constitution. We will come back again, we'll talk about land, how the constitution apply, what it should look like. We've given you human dignity, how it looks like. Mommy, let me have so many stories how human lives are preserved in this part of the world. And one on Papa Steve was saying, nice program so far, but it's only that your live stream is broken. No wonder why people are chopping off and off. Yeah. Okay, so in time, good evening, Steve here. Please ask my question for me. In case the politician
sign back.
Yeah, with those civil servant deprives a Ghanaian abroad from bringing an investment opportunity to Ghana, why can't our chiefs don't have a say or hand to help? Your chief akoje bribe nintra. Simple, your question is answered. O chief no, only politician no kankasa kro waje bribe, waje or omo nyina di aduane baako. No ye den akokasa we. Papa, they are all smoking the same pipe. Simple. Yabesen babak, Papa, it is sad, but that's the reality. Nyankopon Shram will come back again. I'll try to stream it just on one way platform to see whether Yababaka we will go into the investment. Echina, I'm here also about the investment. Yeah, you over counts. I say, me sure so what the stories are okay counts. Unya politician ni bi obebona so, but you will hear more. Why? Nyankopon Shram nya doc. Yabesen babak.
Aye.
I not mainstream from one platform to see whether the way is onuya ohweme Nyankopon Shira mu nyina ena ye pese constitution wasem ne ye pese ye ka only 40 something minutes. Let's talk and let's see how practically when your magic constitution here emra ya twa to ho aban no need to me owo constitution no so eno no Edian normally ye Ghana. I mean, what cotton will found with the like slavery a tremu. Only I shall me slavery, It's a mere now, brony bachere yen, na ye teacher sikama yen chiefs pipe ne cigarette ni akpatachino a trim. And ne constitution, it is a global way. What Samusha ya munko embassy baby, emko kremu way. Ghana is a bruka and no nan pepe for ne de yediba kurumu ha. Nyame nhyira mu nyina.